That's not where you sit.
You missed out on a board.
You sit twice.
That was
It is. I guess it's exact door.
Dude, that ink might be
No, you need Nick Jack.
like,
You sit right there. Connor. Ooh, that's
everybody knows you're sitting the same way as yesterday. Don't be that guy.
No, I'm
here.
sitting
You're right here.
Yeah, I'm sitting right here. I am not sitting my back to that.
Join the jack.
Hey, what the?
You don't do jack in this class anyway, so you can have your back on the board.
He does Jack in other classes.
That's true, he does. Remember, like next period.
No.
Besides that,
Oxymoron and the firefighter one. I didn't know that.
What's oxymoron?
There's only one.
Make it had.
Is that what you did? Yeah, that's wrong.
What?
Had.
Yeah.
Well, you would have had to do more than just had.
Yeah, because you're supposed to change firemen to firefighters.
You're talking about different ones.
Yeah, I know, right?
How is fireman not?
Because it's sexist.
And then you can divide it all.
Because there's firewomen.
You get something like this.
You only had good firemen, right?
Yeah, have was actually right, but I changed it. Me too. It sounded better in my
I thought about it too, and I was like, that was the only sexist one.
I completely forgot about that rule.
Hey, all right. Okay, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a couple examples of, I want to do long division, synthetic division. Really focus more probably on synthetic division today, since we've done long division a couple days in a row. If you want to see more long division, just tell me at the very end. Now, I do want to go through that one problem that we did at the very end of class yesterday, because I know the bell went off right when I was getting going with it. So I want that one problem, so we can show how that problem is very related to long division, because we did a synthetic division yesterday. Okay, I want that problem, and then we're just going to go through a couple others. We'll just kind of make up some problems, kind of show you how this works. Okay, all right. Okay, so again, here's what we're in. We're in section 2.4. Just a reminder of that. We're dividing polynomials. And our big topic today, we need to make sure that we know how to long divide and synthetic divide. So those can be our major two topics. Long division and synthetic. Okay, all right. Hey, does anyone have that one problem that we did on the board yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
5x cubed minus 6x squared plus 3x plus 11 divided by x minus 4.
Okay. All right, so here's the problem we did yesterday. Now, I don't care if they had this, like, if they wrote it like this is kind of writing it out in expanded form, like going this way with the division symbol, or if they write it like this, and they don't have this part back here, it's the same problem. Does everyone understand that? They're the same? Okay. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of this part. I always like this way. I'm more comfortable with that. All right, so now that we have this, we're gonna go through that synthetic division one more time, and then I want to show you, okay, the process for synthetic dividing, and then show you that when you long divide, you get the same answer. So we get kind of one of each. Okay. Then what we're gonna do is we'll probably practice the rest of the time on just synthetic division, just to make sure that you're really good at it, and we'll pick a couple from the book. Okay. All right. So doing this problem, synthetic division. What we basically need is what is the root of this parenthesis? What would be the x-intercept? 2. Yeah, positive 2. Right. That's what it represents. Okay, that's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out, is that a root of this polynomial? So what we do is we put that little positive 2 in this little box here, whatever this thing represents. Okay? And then going across, we're putting these leading coefficients, these numbers here. Okay, so that would be the 5 all the way through to the 11. Okay, that's what we're doing. So we're going 5, -6, 3, and 11. Now the big deal here about this, we need to make sure that you understand, like, if there's any missing terms, like if I'm missing, like, let's say I was missing this x, you have to fill in the 0 there for the x. Okay, so again, this is your dividend, all the leading coefficients there, and then this is what you're trying to figure out as a root. Now I'm going to leave a space and draw a line. Okay, so you have all the numbers in one row, you have a space, you have another row. It takes like 3 lines of paper to do this. Okay, so to do this, the rule was that I talked about yesterday, you drop this first number straight down, so the 5 will go here. Then you multiply this number here by the number in the box. So what's the number in the box? 2. So we're going to take this 5 times that 2. That's the number that you write right there. So it's always whatever's here, you multiply by the number in the box, you write it right here. Then you add straight down like we just did a little bit ago. -6 plus 10. 4, right? That's going straight down, that's adding straight down. Then you multiply by the number in the box, just like we did before. So the 4 times the number in the box, 8. And you do it again, we add straight down. And now we multiply by the number in the box. So that's the 11 times this number, which is 22. And then you add straight down. Okay, this number here, whatever you get, this is the remainder on my problem. So did this thing work out perfectly? Was it a perfect factor? No, we could just figure that out. The remainder was 33. So it definitely did not work. Okay? The rest of this is actually what you get if you were to do long division. This would be the polynomial on the top of that actual house. Okay? And what you do is you go up in power. So this is the constant number.
May I have your attention, please? If the fire alarms go off in the next half hour or so, we are just doing testing in the new edition, so you can ignore the fire alarms when they do go off. Thank you.
Okay, so we have the positive one, that's the constant number. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go up in powers of x's. So what would the next term be? 4x. And then you go up in power again. 5x. And this, so your final answer, like this, if you were to actually do long division to this original problem, your problem, the final answer would have been this on the top of the house. 5x squared plus 4x plus 11. And then the remainder, what I always do with the remainder, I always put the remainder on the top, and on the bottom, because I always add the remainder on, I always put what did we divide by? X minus 2. That's what we divided by. Okay? That's what we were talking about yesterday. When there's a remainder, you always take the remainder and you add it on. That was that new process we had yesterday. So this did not work out as pretty. It was not a factor. We figured that out. Had a remainder. But now, what I want to do right now is I want to show you, if you don't like this, fine. It's really quick. I mean, you can do this in a few seconds because it's just data. It's just numbers. You just have to remember the pattern. Once you get there, I want to show you that if you were to long divide, you would have got the same answer.
I did.
Okay. All right. Oh, wait, so you already done it?
I
Nice. Okay. So, all right. So, long dividing. Just to show you, so some of the girls in here already did it. So 5x cubed minus 6x squared plus 3x plus 11. On the outside, we have that x minus 2. Okay, so going through the long division steps, just so you can see this one more time. And I'm going to leave this up here today, this problem. So we can always refer back to it. So if you like this method, you like that method. Now remember, the reason why we were allowed to do this, and why would we choose to do this, because we're dividing by something super simple, something super easy. If it's anything more complicated, like x squared plus 2, if there's anything with a higher degree of power than 1, you would have to do long division. Like this wouldn't work anymore, it fails. It only works for simple binomials like this. Okay, even if there's a number up front, this kind of fails. So it's got to be something super easy. Adding or subtracting number. Okay, but let's do long division so you can see this. What do I take times the x to make a 5x cubed? 5x squared. Yep. So I multiply by 5x squared. That's what I'm going to multiply that. So I'm going to take a 5x squared times the x minus 2. That will hopefully get my first item to match this. So 5x squared times x is 5x cubed, so that's good so far. And then 5x squared times negative 2 is a negative 10x squared. And here's how you know you did it right. Okay, the first item is going to drop out when we do this here in a minute. That's how you know you did it right. I don't care about the second number, but the first item should cancel out. Do you notice that are the variables lined up perfectly? Okay, so that's good. We're not missing terms. And notice where I wrote the 5x squared. What I always told you yesterday is you write it 2 over, correct? I always write it 2 over. There's 2 outside, so I write it 2 over. Or here's common sense. When you figure out what you're going to multiply by, that should be above the correct letter it matches. So it's above the x squared term. That's how you know I'm writing it in the right spot. Okay, so once we do that, I always draw a line, and then we always subtract straight down. So I always have to change the signs and then go straight down. So that would be 0. This would be a 4x squared. And then I bring down the next item, which is a positive 3x. Okay, does that make sense, like what I did there? Okay, now I got to start all the way over, try to figure out what am I going to multiply on this x to make it a 4x squared. Well, I'm going to multiply by a 4x. That'll make the x here a 4x squared. So 4x times this thing, we got to multiply by a positive 4x. This will make 4x squared. 4x times negative 2 is negative 8x. So the variables line up. I'm going to switch the sign and go straight down. That makes 0. This makes 11x. And I drop the next number straight down. And now we're on to the last step here. What do I take times this x to make the 11x? 11. So I'm gonna multiply by an 11, a positive 11. And if I multiply by a positive 11 here, this would be 11x minus 22. Because I have to distribute the 11 through. And when I switch the signs here, so I'm going to switch the sign. The 11x cancel out, and I'm left with 33. That's my remainder. So as you can see, my remainder was the 33, and everything on top of the house was exactly what I said. It just works out. It works out every single time. I always figure out the last time is always the remainder, and then you always count up. So constant of x, x squared, x cubed, whatever your answers are. Okay. Now, I don't care which method you like. There's certain problems I'm going to require you to do long division, get some practice. And there's certain problems I'm going to require you to do synthetics. You have to know both. There is a process. There's a reason why we want to know both. Because this works every time, but this process is faster, so there's a reason why you want to do that. Okay? All right. Questions, comments on any of the two methods I've shown you so far? All right. What do I want to do now? I want to do at least one or two examples of maybe synthetic, where we get some practice with it. Because I know that is new. We just introed it yesterday. I want to make sure you can see it. Okay. So in fact, I'm going to pick a problem from the book where maybe we're missing a lot of variables, so we have to kind of fill in the zeros and stuff. Because maybe that'll help us out. All right. So Jack, I'm going to have you pick out a problem here. So really, because I'm going to do synthetic division, so you can really pick any of these. I don't really care which one you're using the odds. So try to pick one where we're missing some variables. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. Okay. We're gonna do a synthetic division. We're gonna Jack's gonna try to pick one out where we have some missing variables. Okay, Jack, fire away.
X to the 7th plus x to the 5th minus 10x to the 3rd plus 12 all over x minus 2.
Okay, so we're dividing by something very clean, very easy. So that means on this problem we can most definitely do synthetic. Plus is x plus 2? Yeah. All right, so we are definitely dividing by something very, very clean, very easy looking. So that means we can definitely do synthetic, and that's where this section was from. Okay, all right, so notice on the top, I'm missing a lot of terms. I am. So we're going to have to fill in a lot of zeros. I'm missing the x to the 6th, I'm missing x to the 4th, x squared, and x. I'm missing all those terms. And on the bottom, I have everything I need. But now, what is the root of the bottom? What number am I trying to actually figure out if it works? Negative 2. That is the root of the bottom. We're looking at what does this root represent? We're trying to figure out, is that an x-intercept? That's what we're trying to figure out. All right, so now that we have that negative 2 there, because that represents x plus 2, because we've always said that equals 0, that's how you figure it out. Now I'm going to go across the top and read out the leading coefficients. What is the number in front of x to the 7th? 1. The number in front of x to the 6th is 0. The number in front of x to the 5th? 1. Number in front of x to the 4th is 0. Number in front of x to the 3rd? Negative 10. Yep. Number in front of x squared? 0. Number in front of x? 0. Number for the constant is power fifth, fourth, third, second, first, and then the constant. So we're good. We got everything in constant. Notice, if you forget the zeros, you get really, really bad answers. They will most definitely be wrong. That's what we got to make sure. All right, so going through this problem, we're going to go through the steps just like I did before. Always drop the first number straight down. Now, what do I do with that? Times the number in the box. So what's 1 times the negative 2? Negative 2. Add straight down. Multiply by the number in the box. Add straight down. Multiply by the number in the box. Add straight down. Multiply by the number in the box. Add straight down. Multiply by the number in the box. Add straight down. Multiply by the number in the box. Add straight down. Multiply by the number in the box. Add straight down. And this will be my remainder. So what is that? 68. Negative 68. 12 minus 8. Okay, we're good so far. So if we were to do long division, this would be my final, that would be my remainder. It would be an actual constant. And now I can go up. So my final remainder is, the 68 over what we divided by, x plus 2. Right? But the constant's going up, so that we have a 40 out front. Negative 20x, positive 10x squared, negative 10x to the third, positive 5x to the fourth, negative 2x to the fifth, and a 1x to the sixth. And this would be my final answer. And notice at the very end, what did I do with my remainder? Put it over the fraction, and I put the symbol, whatever it was. If it was negative, I'm subtracting. If it was a positive number, I add. Does that make sense? Okay. Good.
So what we had an x to the 7th in the first, when we started.
Yeah. Every time you divide, this is a great question. Every time you divide by something, it goes down by a power. It goes down by whatever power you divided by. So if I divide it by an x to the first, my power goes down by 1 for my answer. If this was like an x squared, my final answer would have been x to the fifth. It goes down by whatever number you're dividing. Because remember, when you do cancellation method, you always cross up those numbers. The powers go down by that number.
So the first number after the remainder is the constant, and you just count it back.
Exactly. Yeah. It always starts with constant and moves up as you go. That's why I would start back to front. Or you could go front to back, because you know what the power is going to be. I just never think about it. That way I don't get it wrong. Okay. Questions, comments on that problem? That was a good one, by the way. Lots of zeros.
That's what I do.
Okay, now here's my question to you. Is there any particular method you're not comfortable with right now? Like, God, I'm not good at long division, or I'm definitely not comfortable with this yet.
Long division.
You want to do long division? Okay, let's do it. Okay, Jack, go up top. Pick any of the problems from 1 through 16. You can pick one out. It doesn't matter. We're going to do a long division problem.
Anything 1 to 16?
I pulled the firearms.
What are you assigning us? What problems are you assigning us?
I'm not good at this. I need a fair chance that you're not going to get one of them.
Actually,
Okay. Okay. We got one?
Yeah, you ready for it?
Name. What do you got?
3x squared minus 2x plus 5 all over x minus 3.
Okay. Okay, all right. We're going to do a long division. Thank you for picking that one. It's not super long. All right. So now at this point, we're going to do a long division problem on this. So just to get one more practice with this. So the dividend is the top number that goes in the house. This goes in the bottom. We don't have any missing terms, so we don't have to worry about putting in zeros. We're going to do long division of this problem. Now, could we do synthetic? Yes. We're dividing by something easy. We could do synthetic if you want to check the answer. But I'm going to do long division just to get some more practice. So 3x squared minus 2x plus 5 On the outside, we have the x minus 3. And again, if there's any zeros, you have to fill those in. We're missing any terms. All right, so what do we take times an x to make this thing? A 3x, right? So if I take this item by a 3x, that'll turn it into this. So 3x times the x minus 3. Okay, that's what we're doing. This is the part I'm doing like my head off to the side. Okay, so 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times a negative 3 is a negative 9x. Because that's distributing the 3x to both numbers. Now at this point, once I have my line drawn, I always have to switch the signs because I'm subtracting technically. And now I'm going to, from here, I'll add straight down. So this makes 0, this makes 7x's. Bring down the next number. And now we start all the way over. Okay? So what do I take times the x here? That would make this 7x. I have to multiply by a positive 7. Agreed? So I'm going to multiply by a positive 7. When I do that, I'm going to distribute the 7 through. So this would be 7x minus 21. When I distribute the 7 through. And now I'm going to switch the signs. Add straight down, and I have, what is that, 26 for the remainder? So my final answer for this problem, if I put this all back together, you know, after we did this long division, was 3x plus 7, and then my remainder I'm adding on, but I'm going to make that a fraction. So the remainder is 26 over what we divided by. And if you did synthetic, you would get the same result. Now, if you're doing synthetic division on that problem, what number do I put in the little box, though? Positive 3. Yeah, because that's the root of the bottom. So I put the positive 3 in the box, and then across the top I put 3, negative 2, and 5. And then I do the drop, multiply, drop, multiply, drop. Okay, all right. We good with any of these? Problems with any of these? Homework. Yes.
Lord.
Homework today. Here we go. Homework is going to be due Monday.
Yeah.
You obviously can't take it. It's too loud.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, man.
No,
Third, fourth.
5, 6, 7.
Oh, see. All right. So, secretly, I want to do that. All right. Okay, here we go. Page 324. 2 through 8 evens. 14, 16. Now these are all long division problems. So I basically pick some easy ones, pick some ones where you're going to actually get a little challenge. And then the last few, you're just doing synthetic. 24 through 32, the even. So you're only doing the select few. So, yep. So you got to trust your answers. On the first part, you have to do long division. On the second part, you have to do synthetic. So you got to practice them both. So I'll pick the select few.
How did I write 332?
Or you want to go back? No,
Yeah.
Never mind. We're gonna check the real annoying.
Not in the back.
Back of everyone.
Good trees that you can eat.
Yeah, don't look at those. Yeah.
Opposite from your shortcut.
Where do you guys have pictures of that?
Yeah, we're going to do 6 hours. We're going to do it.
No, we also throw those
Yeah,
people
you
out.
guys are- isn't there a game for like the freshmen team or JV?
Yeah, they play like 7.
Okay. That's right, you guys practice 2 days, I think.
Hard.
Earlier?
Who are they playing? Are they playing 4 City?
Wait, first we play King's Court. I was just like, 4 times.
No, this is section.
This is short practice.
Well, it's actually, now I like that.
one hair gun.
Here we
It's gonna be like 2 hours.
That's not short.
Did they hit it harder?
I will not have to. When does our practice start
We
today?
go 30, drop.
We'll go.
Spin, hit it, and drop.
Yeah, we'll probably get 30, but
No, I can hit
No,
that.
I-
Then
I'm
he
just-
does all this crazy stuff.
we'll go until Theodore shows up.
I just need
No, he's like, we'll be out of there for sure by 6.
I'm starting to come in.
That's when I
Last
finally
night I
started.
started doing this instead.
Now
I
I
started
have to.
last year. They don't.
It's like it wouldn't be too hard though.
Hit it like that. And then get you down.
It's much more.
Now,
You get all the-
I always fire access at my house.
Please tell me like we're at like
I started.
if we do more close outs,
I didn't do it last night.
that's easy. All I do is go fucking car.
Like when I'm playing at Eric, I can okay with it. If I have to be in. But like,
Speaking of that, Jack, we should do it
What he said.
Your hand throws it.
For on defense?
Look at the ball. The ball's trying.
Yeah.
pretty good.
It was
It was one out of
X
five.
minus 2
No, it was
equals the minor.
Tyler, it was definitely fun.
he sleeps during
I don't sleep, man. Sometimes my brain drifts. Yeah. Yes, it's X squared.
I fucking drew on something.
No, you're not. I
I
don't
want to
like.
see him check a marker. I've heard stories.
I know he scribbled on Schroeder's forehead.
Yeah, but like
I fall asleep. I do a scribble on your forehead. That is a
I
problem.
heard that somebody
I
was
don't like
sleeping over
sleep.
there, and then like you like, hey, watch out. So then somebody moved, and you just unleashed a marker. That's what I heard.
In Ventura days, I hit a kid so hard in the face. I felt like I was gonna get fired. The kid came in. The kid was like, "Sorry, I work for sleeping." I'm like, yeah, that's right, you are.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
I'm so worried about hitting kids because I wasn't paying attention, and I just zinged it, and I just locked my hand just right, and I mean, it was a rock, and it hit him right in the head. I was like, yeah, just
X squared.
so I mean, it was like looking back, and I just zinged it.
What?
Wait, what was that?
I don't know, can you?
I don't know. Can
Ventura
you?
days like 7-8 years ago, and I thought I was gonna get fired. I was like, oh my god, I hit that kid so hard in the face, it hurt. The kid came to the store where I was like, yeah, you're right, you are.
Yeah.
The roping. Alright, right now I got an X.
Yeah, next time we're shorter, so that way you can't watch it.
So just be like,
STO, how hard it is to get sharp jumps.
oh yeah, so you just put a cup of water and be like, here, this will keep you awake. And then he'll train you, laxatives.
Not 100%. All you do is
X
divide.
plus 3 is the answer.
Divide. We're not going for it.
Number 2 is X plus 5.
That's what I had.
What?
Next answer is 3x plus 2.
No, it's not.
You cheater.
Hey, I ain't no cheetah.
We're using our resources.
I ain't no cheetah.
Also known as cheating.
I ain't no cheetah.
I really ain't cheating. Alright, Jack, read number 4 out.
First of all, what was yeah, but what was the problem?
X minus 2.
So bad. If you just have the answer, it's fine. Right, Ward?
What?
If you just have the answer, it's fine, right?
Not.
Again?
Hold on, I'm reading the problem.
Read 4.
Read 4. X to the third minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6 divided by x minus 3. Yes.
Yeah. I'd have to like unmix everything, take it out, and which one do you do that? Because it's
smart as you, and some of us have to work it out. Yeah, I'm sure you did. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And that's how much I spent on my first.
Okay, how about you stop and you let me do this problem?
Or I feel like tomorrow, since it's Friday, I'm also like really tired.
Really tired tomorrow?
We need to learn about something that's not happening.
No.
Teach us about the pyramids.
You know about
I remember that.
the fact that you can ask me about that.
Or I know you love the pyramids.
I was just.
Let's talk about it again. It's been since freshman year.
I thought, but wasn't that the last one too? 5 times -2 is -10 equals 30. And now it's -10. At the end?
Your Skinner dude is crazy, man.
How am I supposed to boost your height?
Yeah, he starts. Is he still like 5'5"
Not even
It's
that.
just.
No, he's 5'9".
on the roster, which means he's
Yeah, but-
5'6".
Sam Snyder's 6'4" on the roster.
Certain subs require.
How do like 6'4"? Realize.
And I went with
Yeah, well,
AH.
he dunked on somebody, so yeah, he probably
As
is.
far as I know. If
That's
you
cool.
have
Yeah,
That's
so
what he dunked on him.
it would be cooler if they called the block.
Did he make it though?
Oh yeah.
He hung him over.
Show me.
Had his knees right behind his face.
Nick, do you know where it's
I
at?
called the charge.
No, Jay
Yeah, he sent it to me.
Yeah,
The lob was so bad though. The lob, he like barely caught it.
But did he make it?
Yeah.
Hey, does anyone still need the problems on the board? Is anyone using it?
I couldn't. You were at Chelsea. Because like Newman jumped up and he like Newman back up. He like hit on the top of the rim. He's like scooted across the rim.
Really?
What Newman guy done?
No, he had a fast break. That's skinny.
What?
He just jumped up through the middle.
Yeah,
and
Mike's
like,
screwed.
that barely got him.
I was gonna miss this one.
It was the same
I remember the JV game, that guy almost dunked it. Not even sus.
I know, first, third.
It's the guy from Newman did that?
Yeah, Newman's big lineman there, bro. He was just down there like crazy.
This guy does ball me.
Trevor Penning. Who's? I don't know who that is.
Jared's brother.
Jared.
Penny?
Who's that?
Really guy?
Oh. Why is he
Brother.
huge?
He always has.
Is he huge?
Right? He's pretty good. He's about the same size as actually might be a little shorter. A little less than that.
I thought Jared was not good at football. I thought he was gonna be so much better, but he is actually bad.
The lighting has been so.
And what?
Rich Django from mid-range, too.
Oh wow, yeah, he did get a decent.
He did.
Look at Snyder can't really shoot that.
So who do you think plays JV for them? Like, are they gonna have anybody?
Miller probably plays down.
He does. He rotates the jersey. Sorry.
I just realized.
Sarg's still out.
You did like all these
I
problems.
don't even know.
He rotates the varsity jersey every senior.
Was Sarg out last year?
Yeah.
See, I could buy.
Man.
Dude, that's kind of disrespectful to seniors.
Who cares? He sucks.
Jacob has been out.
Shipman still play?
Yeah.
Good.
Hey.
He did 2.7.
Hey, I had 3. Only played way less.
No, you actually, honestly, probably played the same amount as me.
Look at his minutes.
Where's the team? Do you guys remember which way the center down was going?
I wanted something else.
Here's the
Sound
lob.
loud.
They were scoring towards like.
Here's the lob.
The doors.
Good. Steve wants
Here's
the
the
lob.
lob.
Counter.
Yes, I do.
And I spent like
John, I sent you my
3 hours looking around, and then I finally settled on my 2
Who's
yes.
that guy?
Counter for.
I figured I might as
Hey,
well
we're on the
just
same huddle.
get sealed because they're
What?
cheaper. And it already comes to the box, so I don't have to like actually
Yeah.
do more installing or
Oh.
using cables.
Yeah.
And then
Here, look.
the only thing I really don't like is my name.
It's right now. How far it's going.
I don't like this.
Well, you this their old gym?
Like, Sunday, like, my math.
I want to see the one get done on this.
It was, yeah, going, it's going right now.
I had an old boss answer and I had my.
I want to get done.
No, it's in the first half.
I want to get
First
done.
half and it's in the first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's in the second.
I want to take a charge.
If you get dunked on, that just means you didn't stuff it.
No, I want to get done.
That's all.
Or the
That's-
other guy could just jump out.
I want to get done.
From the camera view, it's right in front of them, so they do that.
Honestly, if I get dunked on, I want to be ready for it. I don't want to be one of those guys that like.
That you look, you're like this. You're like,
You're like someone throws the ball up and you're like, that wasn't a shot, and then James catches it above you and you're like, oh, it wasn't. I've seen a couple of those. Not been on
from
the
your point of view, is that you're trying to say?
saying I've seen a couple of our teammates get dunked on.
I haven't been dunked on. What the heck? I want to get dunked on.
Nick, did you last year? I remember one practice you like, James got good. Oh,
See, Nick doesn't care though.
If I had the ball, James just grabbed it really nice.
See, if like Gibson Bear dunked on me, I'd feel terrible. I'd probably.
He doesn't even play basketball this week.
Remember that?
You guys remember his attempt last year? Oh my gosh, he dunked. He tried. He tried. It looked like a missed and like barely got halfway up in the air.
I don't even remember that.
It wasn't against us.
39. How many touches did we go to 39?
A lot.
Hold on. Oh, it has to change the sign. Yeah, you're probably right. You get the whole thing.
We'll pass the 10-minute mark.
No, further. Just later.
Yeah.
4:15.
After.
After.
Or break like a price.
That's how you know. That's how you know you got it. If you write this remainder, you're done.
I might get done for tomorrow.
So 14 What's up?
We do long division for 14 to 16. Yeah, how long did it take you to finish your stuff? Probably got done at like halfway through. Probably got like 8:55. So I got finished.
And you had the first one.
It depends on how much you want to go back and check yourself.
Yeah, like I went back and checked.
I'll probably go through first,
What did it
just
say?
do what I think, and I'll probably go.
I probably got like 8:50.
I just checked when read it's like, okay, I know that.
But that's because, like, even if I knew the rule, I looked at the book
I
before.
probably will be.
So that's what I mean. It wouldn't have taken that long because some of them I knew, but I was like, just to make sure.
That's probably what I'm gonna do.
Oh, let's go.
I'm looking. Goodness.
I'm just hoping for.
Come on.
I got
Oh my gosh, you guys see that? Make our shit a free throw. Misses? No, nobody boxes him out. He got the ball and put it right there.
I'm
Who is Vanguard? Do I know him?
Preparing for
for an open book test.
This is so bad.
Oh, I think it's the same.
I'm studying for an open book test.
Fourth never goes.
You know what? I'm just nervous.
What? They're just standing there.
Yeah, don't shit. He must have been confused. He literally just stood there and watched.
What?
Yeah.
That was the worst thing ever.
No kidding.
I literally see.
I'm just gonna
That go harder than that.
That was like Cleveland trying to confuse North Iowa.
That was cool though. That was cool. It worked.
Except for that one dude, the one just like telling his team to come down.
No, at first, Colton was like, hey guys, get on there. I'm like, Colton, what offense down there? He goes, yeah, I know. Just set up offense down there. I'm like, okay, I understand. We're setting up. And this one guy is trying to get his team to go, you know? I'm like, Colton, I'm open. There's nobody guarding me. And then he sort of started coming over a little bit.
I beat him, then he was on the bench.
Like I said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever been a part of.
Hey, but it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, because.
What are you trying to say? Marcelo, my fault.
How do you want to say that? I can't really try to know what if you get him on the right.
Things we say in church.
It's not like they're gonna have tape on us.
Well, then this is the funniest thing ever. I looked at Eric. let one go. Straight in the face.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, snatched unleashed that air.
And it hit Derek in the face.
Derek stood up.
Derek was so mad.
Not like actually.
Derek was.
Like when I played him, he didn't try to return him. Everyone
Not 100%. James said it was in the first half. I don't know.
Yeah, but we're
Was there sound?
Around the table.
I want to see this.
Yeah. Eric, you was a perfect shot.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Didn't he tell you to play like
I got
what it
his
was?
heart and he popped his neck, looked back on my ass. He tried to set me. He tried to set
One
everyone
job.
up. It only worked like once.
What I can do more than do.
And then Eric.
One of the games.
The final three was always.
So if your pass was right, I think
Tio, you didn't even use that mark rate.
Maybe it's in the first 15.
I know. I didn't want him to go that far. He wouldn't have done something to the table.
No,
He could have body slammed me.
he wouldn't have hurt the table. He likes it just as much as we do.
someone finds it.
He's good. I didn't think he'd be that good. Eric Williams. Big ball.
He plays really slow, but a lot of spin.
Yeah, he hits it and it spins like crazy.
So, you know the Squircle thing?
One of the questions we could have answered if we would have had a world American history before it.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, and what? It says one of the answers in there. So just wait for it and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Wait, what?
And it is. You wouldn't know.
What?
You wouldn't know.
Of the quiz I was taking, you, me.
Me and mine.
Oh, no.
Right.
Almost got cancer.
Oh my gosh.
I had cancer.
Was she in the hospital?
Not black. He's American. He's Native American.
Oh, let me guess, he's up in North Dakota?
No, he's not an idiot. He knows how protesting is not. You do sorry if you like protesting.
So there's like 2 weeks. 2 weeks in our class. We had 2 months. They're gotta go in the con. The other one's in fat. They're like, no, you guys should protest against it. It's gonna like ruin rivers, but no. Who cares? Do you think
He's been in for like 40 years.
Yeah, where are you using it?
I also think it's 2015.
Guess what I got for lunch? Yep. Homemade macaroni with probably stuff on it. Right from and like some cheese and no water. We don't have water at my house. I don't got no water in the coffee. You always have a water bottle.